our next guest for the Summit 23 came from a far, far away land, not being Turkey. And o yüzden İtalya Eski Dışişleri Bakanı Sayın Angelino Alfano'yu alkışlarınızla sahneye davet etmek istiyorum. I'd like to invite the former Minister of Foreign Affairs for Italy, Mr. Il Signore Angelino Alfano. Piacere, benvenuto.
Benvenuto, ben trovato. Hi guys, it's a great pleasure for me to be here with you. I am really glad to be here with you in this wonderful city, full of history and full of culture. And hi Guy, because it's a great moment for me to stay with 23 team. I look into your curious and hopeful eyes, and my heart swells with joy. I think back to myself when I was your age. I remember my hopes, my ambitions, my fears, and my dreams. And I look back on the dreams of my generation. The new century and the new millennium appear as an extraordinary mirage of progress and freedom. A new world seemed to arrive enclosed in one word: globalization. And a new object allowed us to talk to each other from anywhere, a mobile phone. At 23, I had just graduated. 23 years later, at 46, I am serving my country as Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation after 23 years. During the 23 years after my graduation, I became a lawyer, I earned a PhD, I was a deputy of the Italian Republic for 4 parliamentary terms, I was Minister of Justice, Minister of Interiors, Minister of Foreign Affairs, I represented Italy at EU, at the G8 and at the UN Security Council, and I was Deputy Chairman of the Council of Ministers. I have to thank life for these wonderful opportunities, and I want to share with you what has inspired me for all these years as politician and what still guides me today as a lawyer: consciousness and conscience. These are the themes that organizers gave me for this speech, and I want to thank them because consciousness and conscience have been my compass, my anchor, the tools that guide me on the great ocean of life. I have faced many challenges. I have fallen many times. I have always tried to get up, and I could say that the first lesson I learned is: be conscious of yourself. The self-consciousness is the first pillar to build a rich life. Ask yourself every day, who are you for yourself? In the Temple of Apollo in Delphi, there is a sentence that we must fix as a golden rule: nosce te ipsum in Latin. Know yourself in English. Identify your qualities and your strengths. You have received talent and gifts. Use them. Don't waste them. Trust yourself. Have faith in your possibility of achieving what you want. No outer confidence can be more powerful than your determination and commitment. Too many times we are conditioned by other people's judgment. The faith that other people have in you comes and goes according to conditions and usefulness. Sometimes we receive more trust than we deserve, sometimes less. But the confidence you have in yourself depends only on you. You are the only one who knows your worth. Never forget that. At the same time, be conscious of your weaknesses. Thinking you have no weaknesses is the first step towards failure. Weaknesses must be recognized and accepted. You need to find a place for them in your life, a functional and coherent place for your future and your life strategy, a role that makes them stimulating. Weaknesses will be great allies because they will always remind you of one thing. You must always be humble and work hard on yourself. No result is forever. Being self-conscious also means understanding your vocation, your personal vocation, your mission, your purpose. The philosopher Lucio Anneo Seneca said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." So, don't just ask yourself, who am I? Also ask yourself, what is my dream? What is my dream? If you answer this question after a serious and hard inner reflection, you will take a big step in the right direction. Do everything you can to make your dream come true. It is better to try and fail than to die with the regret of not having tried. A great Christian spiritual leader, Pope John the 23rd, said, "Life is the fulfillment of a dream made in your youth." Most the results we gained depends on our inner strength, our energy. It's an energy emanating from the spirit. You may have studied a lot and be very skilled, but without an inner strength, it is difficult for you to achieve results appropriate to your level of preparation. That's why my advice is, never neglect your spirit. It is the source of your strength. It is your additional charger, your personal power bank, when you think you have exhausted all your energy because of negative events or wrong people. Cultivate your spirit. Work on your spiritual progress. Read as much as you can. Let inspire yourself by the biography of a person you would like to resemble. Watch good movies. Attend art exhibitions. Listen to good music and go to the cinema. If you believe in God, pray, meditate, seek inspiration. This time is not stolen from work and career. It is the opposite. It's time well invested for your life and your professional career. Once self-consciousness is acquired, it is necessary to be fully conscious of the world you are in. You must understand your role in the world. This research will allow you to identify new perspectives, new horizons. Curiosity and humility will be precious travel companions. The more you study, the more you will understand that you should never stop studying and learning. Think about it. The constant search for knowledge and even more for understanding is one of the most significant elements in human history. You, if you allow me, my brilliant friend, you are candidates to be the ruling class. And what characterizes leadership is the responsibility to understand the meaning of events and try to give them direction. The advent of digital gave us the extraordinary opportunity to share and store more information every year than the whole of humanity has been able to produce in all of history before the advent of the internet. You will have the chance of being part of extraordinary scientific and technological knowledge you can discuss with your peers in every part of the world. But knowledge is not enough. It must be transformed into understanding and, above all, into consciousness of your role in the world. The world outside this room is full of opportunities to allow yourself to be what you dream of, but it won't gift you anything. You need to be conscious of this. You will have to commit to your goals. No one will do it for you. And please, don't leave yourself to fate. Sometimes luck will give you what you didn't fully deserve. Sometimes bad luck will take away, but this concerns all of us. In the venture of life, you will have what you have proven to deserve. There are no successes without sacrifices. There are no victories without effort. Only hard work can make something happen. Of course, you will also have to deal with failure. Don't give up on challenges. Most of all, don't give up on challenges because you are afraid of failing. As a great British statesman, Winston Churchill said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." If your self-consciousness is strong, you will find the courage and the strength to rise after a failure. History was not written by those who had never fallen, but by those who knew how to get up. I want to talk to you now about change, because this is one of the few certainties of life, and because it's deeply linked to your ability to define your role in the world. Yes, the change. Not everything you decide now at 23 will be valid forever. Not everything you decide at 23 will remain the same, because you will change. People and situations will change around you. Prepare for change, because it will be a constant in your life. Don't be afraid of changing. Prepare your change for some times. Don't let the circumstances decide for you. You must decide even in changing time, because every change must be led and not suffered. It happened to me. In 2018, I went from being a foreign minister and political leader of a national party to becoming a lawyer, the job I studied for many years before. It has been radical change, a radical change that I strongly wanted. I went from having to decide which TV show to participate in to having to look for clients for my new job. From the state to the market. From having to filter the emails received to having to send them for my new job. The people around you change. The places, the perspective with which you look at the same building change. Freedom, visibility, passion, economic realization are on the balance. And today, after this change, radical change, I am here to speak to thousands of students who will become leaders of Turkey, and I am sure also of the world. And I can do it with a new freedom. I can do it with joy and gratification. Changing allows allows us to keep the flame alive, to keep the flame alive, to always have a purpose, to update your purpose. If we stop doing it, we give up our mission. Giving up on change means not being conscious of the world. You cannot remain still in the same position while the world turns at a speed never known in history. I have seen many people turning stability into a totem and dispersing their talents and consuming the fire inside. Other people, on the contrary, continue to win because they have accepted new challenges with significant personal and professional changes. Once you have consciousness of yourself and of the world you live in, your task will be to act to fulfill your purpose. Implement actions, behaviors, decisions, strategies, efforts to achieve what you want, what you dream of. You will have doubts about what is right or wrong to do. You'll ask yourself if everything is allowed to achieve your goals and what will be the most appropriate choices. And even when you'll have reached your goal, you will face the same dilemmas. In that moment, there will be an inner voice coming from your soul to give you the right advice. It will be the voice of conscience. The voice will show you the way. Conscience is the key element, together with self-consciousness and consciousness of the world. Your conscience tells you if something is right or wrong even before the civil code or the penal code. Your conscience will suggest you the limit of your actions. It will show you the direction to take when you'll find yourself at a crossroads. Listen to the prompts of conscience. Don't be deaf to them. Sometimes it may feel like you are losing a utility, but in the long run, you will have a gain in terms of inner strength, peace, and serenity of your spirit. Sometimes it can happen that on the one hand, there is what is convenient for you, and on the other, what your conscience suggests to you is right in itself. Let me tell you a personal story. Between 2013 and 2016, I was the Minister of Interior of the Italian government and leader of one of the most important parties in coalition of government. In those years, Italy faced the largest refugee crisis in its history. Hundreds of thousands of refugees and economic migrants lived to Italy from Libya after the fall of Gaddafi and from Tunisia. Millions of people came to these countries from all over sub-Saharan Africa. Others came from Syria, a country caught up in the civil war. Italy is the gateway to Europe in the heart of the Mediterranean Sea. Women, children, and men arrived on our shores running away from persecution and looking for a better place to live. They relied on unscrupulous criminals, people smugglers, traffickers of human beings. They knew the chances of surviving the sea were half and half. When I went to Lampedusa Island, an Italian island closer to the African coast than to Sicily, I saw something I never wanted to see. Hundreds of bags placed on the ground in the airport hangar. Inside of each yellow bag there was a body, a person, a life, a story. Inside of one of these sacks, the dead were two, a mother and a little girl embraced. That time has been one of the crossroads of my life. I had to decide what was right to do. Fear of immigration was growing in public opinion, and Europe was not giving support to Italy. I had to take a position as a man of government and as a leader of a political party. On the one hand, there were polls and consensus. On the other, my conscience and my values. Saving lives meant losing a consensus, running down in the polls. I had to choose between what was electorally comfortable and what I thought was right to do. I chose to save lives and organize relief efforts, strongly asking Europe to enhance search and rescue missions. Between 2013 and 2016, Italy saved more than 500,000 people in the Mediterranean Sea, children, women, and men. My party lost votes. My popularity slipped. But I have never gone to bed with such a conscience that I have done the right thing. In life, unfortunately, what is right not always coincides with what is useful. Therefore, my advice is act according to your conscience and be conscious of the consequences. But let me tell you something more. Life will know how to give you back the profit you refused when you chose what was right instead of what was convenient for you. If you will have doubts, use this strategy that helped me during my life. It's a strategy that I personally used many times to decide. Think of the judgment that someone you love or you have loved would give on your choices, on your behavior. Think also of someone who is an inspiration for you, a parent, a grandfather, a friend, the person you have by your side, someone from whom you learned your values, someone you have seen sacrifice for you. Ask yourself, what would they think of what I am doing? What would he do in my place right now? What would he tell me if I could meet him? I am sure that in this question you will find many answers to your doubts, and this criterion can accompany you forever. And so, being a good person will sometimes be recognized as a merit, sometimes reprimanded as a fault. Never feel guilty. Never blame yourself for being a good person. So, from my 23 to today, a toolbox has helped me every single day. I found inside self-consciousness, consciousness of personal weaknesses and strengths, consciousness of the world, of your role in this complex and full of opportunities world, conscience, a compass that will allow you to choose between what is convenient and what is right and realize your purpose. Growing up, I have met many people who have remained young despite the passing of the years, and others who have aged too early. I reflected on what can make the difference between those people who remain young and those who age too early, and my conclusion is this: the ability to always ask questions. Consciousness continuously commits us to answer new questions about our life, about the world we live in, about our place in the world, about what is right or not. Asking these questions helps us stay young. Giving up asking ourselves these questions makes us grow old quickly. Keep asking yourself questions. Always do it because it will allow you to give quality to your life, your relationships, and your actions. You'll stay young as long as the need to ask questions will prevail over the presumption of having answers. You'll stay young as long as every answer will seem imperfect. You'll get older when you will think to have all the answers, and you will not feel the need to ask more questions. Always try to give answers that are consistent with your worldview. You'll often feel like you can't find answers, but of course, there will be no answers if no questions are asked. Some big questions I tried to answer when I was 23 are still relevant, such as the need of justice or the need to build peaceful relationships between people. I believe that your generation has new challenges to face in addition to the past ones. You are citizens of a revolutionary world, a new era of digital life and artificial intelligence. In few decades, deep and epochal transformation in all the areas of human life will enter in our lives. In 20 or 30 years, the world will be very different, but will it also be better? The answer is up to you. Artificial intelligence and robotics bring us closer and impart extraordinary speed to the world, but they cannot take away space from human relationships. The revolution in front of us poses thousands of ethical and legal questions. What will be the place of man in the society of machines? Will humanoid robots have rights? Who will decide in self-driving cars whether to save a pedestrian or a passenger in the event of an accident risk? These questions have already been discussed, but the definitive answers, I think, will be up to your generation. The challenges for you don't end there. The challenges of getting people to trust science and human capacity to face the challenge of nature again. It happened with vaccines during pandemic, and also the need to find a balance between democracy and access to information and hierarchy of knowledge, between freedom of expression and quality in the formation of opinions. And then there are the big environmental issues, the effort to stop climate change and ensure the sustainability of our development model, a mission that could unite humanity without distinction of nation or creed in a way that has never happened in the past. Also in geopolitical terms, a new period of global competition is starting with completely new connotations compared to the past decades. Guaranteeing peace will perhaps need new strategies and new diplomatic balances. All of these are issues on which your generation is called to leave its mark on history. To conclude, each of you is called to leave a mark on history. Of course, nobody knows in advance what this sign is. And so, if we knew it before, life would be extremely boring. You will discover all of this by knowing yourself, having an open look on the world, and letting your conscience guide you in the search of the right actions. And always remember, young people are the opportunity that God offered the world to try, once again, to be better. Don't let the world miss the opportunity to be better thanks to you. And do not miss the opportunity to be better than us who preceded you in this world. Thank you for the attention. Thank you. Thank you so much.